That's right, we'll fix it. So when you're doing the card over there, she did say if I should put on for this for me. She's obviously learning some other things that go, you're doing this particular way, right? So there's goju kata, there's shituru kata. Okay, there's a particular code for the Commonwealth Games, the WKF. Okay? So it doesn't matter what style you do, you've got to do that particular code they choose. Okay? So students like Brittany and others who compete, for example, GKR Karate, that we sometimes take teams to in Australia last year, last year, every 2 years, the non-World Cup year, we'll go to Japan and we'll take team and we'll compete. And we want to take a team from New Zealand next year as well. Okay? There's no reason why we can't. But for example, the Australian team, our GKR students make up 90-95% of the team. Right? First year that we went into the Japan to compete, there was no team going. So we said, well, we'll go. And we had two of each division. Does that make sense? The following year, some of the goju people in Australia, oh, it's not fair, they took our spots and blah, 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 and had all these things to say about us, which were just out of nothing. So they said, okay, well, we'll go to the nationals and we'll compete, and then, if you win, first, second, you qualify, right? So here we are. I'm in the UK at the time, it was March sometime, this is like 4 years ago. I'm in the UK, I could go to the nationals. I'm kind of expecting up here to get smashed, right? By, the traditional goju, we go and we smash them. Like, we still make up 90% of the team. Right? So it's like, there. Enough said. So that's how it goes, and that's how, and we say team. We've got a team from Australia, we have had teams from the UK go. There's no reason why we can't have some New Zealand people. So if anyone is keen for next year, right, about July, is when it happens. So we will work out how to get a New Zealand team. I don't think there's been a New Zealand JKF team. So through our links in Australia to Japan, through our sess4 links and our training with Japan, we can do something for New Zealand as well. So I'll ask about that. I'll see what needs to happen. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that everyone can go, not everyone wants to go, but for the few, maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 people that want to compete and go, it's an experience. Alright? It's an experience, yeah? So getting back to it, so two or three cards that she's going to go to, there's a few others that I haven't even heard the name of them. One's called Anan, which I've seen before. One's called Pikachu. Knee pipe ho. Sounds like a nice dish you get at a late night Chinese restaurant. I'll have the chicken knee pipe ho. So she's doing that's a couple of minutes. Sorry. What I want to say to you is I have not seen Brittany train. I have not seen her and the other girls. I heard last year that they did really well. I went to Shihan, they did fantastic. So obviously their instructors, the influence of the people down there in Christchurch, Sharon, Greg, obviously, David, and other instructors, and other people that we get to go and see outside of the club. Obviously, she's training her backside off, and this is why she's made the team. This is why, today, that's sort of going on the road so good. Why should I be surprised that she's obviously trained for it? So, big congratulations.
Thank you.
Done like that, that's why karate should be in the Olympics. That's what you should be watching. Alright, let's finish up. While we just get these ready. Let's just go. Look, I just want to say, just a quick one. So, thank you guys for coming along. Thanks to the senior instructors. getting you guys in for training with you, giving you the inspiration and training, yeah? For your own training and your own development. Karate is a lifelong thing. I know we've talked about that too, sometimes, so to speak. But the reality is we've talked about some good stuff over the last few days. In the beginning of yesterday, all the way through our training yesterday, last night in our get together here. And I just hope that you can walk away from this camp. Like most camps, you can walk away with something new to learn, some new sense of inspiration perhaps. Yeah? But the overriding thing, you must walk away feeling great about your journey, like feeling good. The fact that you're here, you're doing it, you know what I mean? You're one step ahead of where you could have been. Sometimes, you hear people saying, oh, the camp is awesome, but you just need to do it. I can never be that good. It's not about that. It's about you being your best. Yeah? All we can do is train with you and give you ideas and give you strategies and the way you think about your training and the way you train to improve your physical strength. It's every day of the time. But you need to walk out of here knowing full well that you're already awesome. You're already at the top of your game. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if you had made the decision 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago to start. Where would you know what I mean? Like, imagine where you'd be if you weren't committing to this for the last X number of years. Okay? You're already a long way down your own journey, and it's great. Okay? So remember in the dojo, never talk to self-down, always talk to self-down. There's no room for negative self-talk. Okay? Make sense? Again, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you guys. Thanks Sensei Anthony as well. I think Sensei Carol was quite instrumental in setting up the camp. Okay? So I just want to thank both Sensei Anthony and Sensei Gavin for their teaching as well.
Just a quick thing from me, I just want to say thanks to Sensei, I want to say thanks to Region 17 through Sensei Cullen, because having worked with Sensei Cullen for some time, I know he doesn't do very much. He delegates a fair bit. So thank you, Region 17 Cullen. No, look, without doubt, Shihan said about the regional instructors here, and without doubt, as you know, there is, when you look at it from the perspective of where you guys look after your classes, every region has 20, 30 classes that all have to siphon up to be looked after and coordinated by some one person. But that's you guys that do that on the individual, on the ground basis, and I really appreciate it, I really do. One of the things I would say, I get in trouble for saying things that I think because I don't put my mouth into where you're going before I put my head in gear, but I'm very for it. There's been camps that you go to, that I've sat and watched you guys do combinations and drills and kata workshops and that sort of thing, right? And I've said this to both you since I go in this camp, that there's times you sort of watch and you go, oh wow, that's just like you guys are having a fascinating time with that. But this one time in particular, I'd like to highlight that you guys have done fantastic this camp. I don't know what it is, maybe it's the fact that Shihan says that you can't give yourself any negative talk. You can only face yourself in a positive way and learn from it. And if that be the case, then I'd have to say that this camp, from where I stand, looking at you, has probably been one of the most successful camps. So if that's the case, then I think we need to continue with that. That's something that's important. I'd like to say thanks to my regional instructors for looking after all the things they do. I couldn't get done anything that I get done without them. And I'd also like to say thank you to Sensei Gavin for taking time out to come and train with us and be here with us at the camp. We try to book him as often as we possibly can. As you know, we only had one camp this year, but I'll get him over again. You may not know that, but I'll get him over again. I'd like to thank Shihan for coming as well. He has a lot of things on. He looks after a lot of, obviously he looks after those Sensei Gavin. A lot of things, but Shihan's done a fair bit of travelling and has more to come this year. So to lock him in and get him over here is fantastic. And he was told last night he's coming back and doing a tour again too. So on the table and just got to work some dates. So as soon as we know when that's going to be, I'll let you guys know. And we'll put aside time. I'm actually hoping to drag Shihan on tour. I like you too, but like
With you too.
if I could arrange that, I would. So we'll do what we might do, not sort of do like a set up if you're interested. Do like a night in Christchurch, a night in Wellington, a night in Hamilton. So they might like that. So we'll see if we can do that too, yeah? But thanks guys, I really appreciate it. Fantastic time, really enjoyed it. It's great to see you guys. It's inspiring for me to watch you guys train. I've been training for a long time, as have since I got them. And just from where I stand, my personal perspective, I look at you guys at this end of the room, and the areas that you feel like you're challenged with and having trouble with, and I go, I remember those days. Yesterday, actually. But and I look at this end of the room and I see what you guys are accomplishing, and I go, wow, hopefully I'll look like that one day. So, so everyone has their own journey, as Shihan said, and we just make sure we have to make sure we stay on that journey. There was a thing that I saw, Facebook's not my favourite thing, but Shihan posted something on there that I saw again. I hadn't seen it for a long time, and the question you would have seen, I'm sure, if you don't like Shihan, try to like him on Facebook. But you'll see on his Facebook post thing, he says the thing that says, how long does it take the average person to get a black belt? Have you seen that? Who's not yet seen it? Okay, so the question everyone should know the answer is, how long does it take the average person to get a black belt? And the answer is, the average person doesn't get a black belt. That's the answer. Yeah. So you can't be the average. You've got to be far more. So even though you may be there, there's more to learn. Even though you may not yet be there, you're in the right room and in the right company. And stay the path. That's the main thing I'd say. We're going to hand out certificates to Shihan, is that right?
Let's please do that.
Yeah, so I think that's a hurry up, is it? Okay. So what we're going to do is get the original instructor one. Who am I pointing the finger at? No? Everyone's good? Okay, everyone's spelled right? Oh, not on the list, Wayne. My love to you. That's how it's spelled. All complaints go to the complaint department.
We may have some spares.
There's one.
$98 you can get another pizza.
Alright. Thanks, guys. Okay.
I'm very happy.
Okay, are we done?
I have since I gave it, I
Oh, sorry, yes, since again.
I'll make it quick, yeah, because everything's been said, just not everyone said it yet. So just really quickly, probably my duty is to thank Shihan on behalf of everybody here for coming this weekend and teaching most of the weekend. It's fantastic class. Special quick thanks again to everybody out the front here. I agree with what Anthony was saying, that the standard's very good this weekend. When you come to a camp, I guess it's a combination of things. It's refining things you know, having a chance to work on the things you know and improve them, and it's also learning new things you might not have done before. And we had a chance to do a bit of both that this weekend, and you guys did really well. And I have to not only commend you on your standard, irrespective of what level you're up to at the moment, but naturally you're instructors as well. So I don't get it very often these days, but it's nice to get over and see these guys again. I've been seeing for a long time. So well done to all of you guys for that. Whenever I come over here, it's nice to receive it. Everyone says thank you for coming. I have to say to you, thank you for coming to the camp. I know you probably had to put things aside to be here this weekend. You've got other jobs and other lives, and this is what you do as your hobby and your love. So I appreciate you put the weekend aside. Perhaps you have to bribe a spouse to be here. I don't know what you had to do. We've all done that, but you're here, and I really appreciate the time you put aside to come to these things. New Zealand camps are just an institution now. We're starting to catch on slowly in Australia, but you guys have been doing it for 10 years or more. So the New Zealand camp really has always set the scene for the Australian camps. They're often saying, "Man, can we have camps like New Zealand?" That's what goes on over there. So I really want to thank you for coming. I'm just thankful for you turning up and putting your time aside this weekend. And just remember that my little message is, I suppose, that your karate improvement over time is mostly about you. Because these guys are here to, do alterations from time to time, do little renos on things, but essentially it's up to you to improve your training. You know, especially guys that teach, you know what good technique looks like. There's mirrors everywhere. You've got cameras on your phones. It all just comes down to how seriously you want to take your improvement. Yeah. And if you don't have the right attitude behind your growth and your karate training, then you're most likely going to be a casualty, like a lot of people end up being. The average person not achieving black belt, that's because the average person probably looks at it all wrong in between the ears. Physically they're probably capable, but somewhere along the line mentally they gave up. Weren't improving fast enough, felt like they hit a bit of a dip, got injured, didn't come back. All those things challenge us along the way, and that's why there's as much as it's great to see young new talent coming through, enthusiastic, I can appreciate from my own personal experience, those who have trained with longevity, those people who have been here for 10, 12, 15 years. I know you've probably been injured a few times. I know you've probably gone through some flat spots where you didn't feel like you're getting better. I know you might have come for an assessment and said you need more time. All those little things that knock the average person back, you guys have persevered through all that, and that's why it isn't average to achieve black belt. And I think that the more you go into your training, the more the training needs to become the goal. Improvement is a byproduct. Improvement will probably happen anyway, but training is the goal. You might train for a whole year and not actually get any better. Physically that might happen. Certainly if you're getting older that may happen, okay? But you might think, what was the point of training for a whole year if you didn't get better? Well, just imagine what would happen if you didn't train for that whole year. You would have stayed the same, or would things have slid backwards, right? Try not using any muscle for a year. Try not using any muscle just for a week and see what happens, right? So the training becomes the goal. Early on it's the belts and the new techniques, and afterwards it becomes the training. And whilst you're training, you're immersed in the spirit of karate do when you're training. It's not all about how much you improve, although improvement should be something that happens anyway. If you stay training, then you're living the karate, So if you can adopt that mentality, that's what helps you maintain karate longevity and not get frustrated when you hit little dips, or you get passed up for grade, or you've injured something and you've got to come back from it. It's all in the attitude, It's not average. And hopefully we do our best to instill the physical with what goes on in here as well, And what Shihan was saying on the weekend about speaking, being generous to yourself, being kind to yourself, being a failure-friendly zone, And who said the expression, fail forward? Fail forward, If you learn to fail, what's the saying? If you fail to learn, learn to fail or fail to learn. That was it. Learn to fail. Get failure all over yourself. Get it all over yourself. Realise it's not a death sentence. Otherwise, you will not learn. Failures just really are a failure-friendly environment. And you can feel that in the room, which is good. Everybody has a bit of fun. You goof something up. You have a laugh. Yesterday, when you were doing partner work and attacking each other, I've never seen people laughing so hard in my life. You guys were having fun. It didn't look like an attack. Every time I said attack, you started laughing. But anyway, that's my little message. Most of all, thanks for coming. It's nice to be thanked for being here, but I really want to thank you guys for coming as well. And hope to see you again next time.